Thanks to Printify for sponsoring today's video. In the age of AI and amazing digital tools, you don't have to be a super skilled designer or even make the physical items you are selling to be a super successful, high revenue earner on sites like Etsy. Print on Demand makes it possible to sell items without ever printing, packing, shipping, or even seeing the physical item that you are actually selling. And amazing AI art tools make it really possible to create amazing designs in literal seconds with just a few lines of text. If you've been wanting to start a business for a long time or do print on demand, this could be just your time to do it. With so many more people getting into reading recently, thanks to places like TikTok and YouTube, it's no surprise that reading journals have been skyrocketing in sales recently. The search volume has been going up so much for this type of product. They are one of the hottest items right now. Getting in on a trending product or niche early on is a great way to have a lot of success really early on in your business and a great way to have your first 4 or 5 figure month selling. In today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how to make a stunning reading journal completely with AI, and make sure you stick around to the end of the video where I show you how you can almost double your profits by adding one simple element to these AI generated artwork designs that will definitely take your product to the next level and make them even more desirable. Now let's get right on to it. Now, if you haven't already, the first step that you're going to need to do is create an Etsy account and link it to a place like Printify that has all the white label products that you are going to be selling completely passively. So they are doing the making, the printing, packing, shipping. You are just creating the designs, uploading them, and then they take care of the rest. If you want a complete walkthrough on how to do that step by step, I have a tutorial right here that will be perfect for you. Make sure you watch that to set up your account. Next, we're going to be heading over to our design platform of choice to create our AI images. Now, the design suite that I love and I'm going to use today is going to be Kittl. Now, Kittl already has so many amazing tools and templates to make designing for print on demand sellers super fast and easy, but one of the ones that I've been using a ton recently is their AI image generator. And the nice thing about Kittl is they have made it abundantly clear that you are free to make and use commercially and sell any of the images and designs that you create on their platform. So there's no gray area, and it's a really great platform for print on demand sellers. I'll have that link down below too. Now, before we get started on Kittl, we're going to head back over to Printify and find the exact product that is going to be perfect for our reading journals. The product that is going to be perfect for this is going to be one of their spiral journals. So let's take a look at their stationery accessories and pick out exactly which one we're going to use, and I'll show you how to get the dimensions to actually be able to start designing the cover for this reading journal. Now, I am logged onto my Printify account, which if you don't have a completely free account with Printify, make sure you create an account with them down below so you can sell any kind of print on demand product you can imagine on sites like Etsy. Now, my favorite product to use to make these types of reading logs and notebooks is going to be just one of their spiral bound notebooks. Now, the great thing about a notebook like this, it's a very low cost and you can do tons of amazing things with the cover here. So this one is rule lined and it is from Spoke Custom Products. And even without Printify Premium, which allows you to get up to 20% off of your purchase of items to sell, it's only $7.69, so very affordable. You can make a very healthy chunk of profit on selling an item like this in your Etsy shop. I'm going to go ahead and click Start Designing so that we can go ahead and get the dimensions that we're going to need to create our AI artwork cover. Now, it's going to be 1810 by 2534. So let's head back over to Kittl and we are going to create a new product with those dimensions. All right, so on Kittl, I'm just going to go ahead and click New Project, and then I'm going to fill in the dimensions that we need. Now, there are 3 specific reading journal niches that I am going to try and target and create artwork for today. All of these have seen a lot of interest in just the broader niche in general, but they would do very, very well for a specifically reading journal. Now, the first one is going to be a reading journal that is in that dark academia theme. So if you're not familiar with dark academia, it is kind of like what I would say maybe like that private school preppy, very dark aesthetic. There are tons of dark academia books that are doing really well, and people are very into kind of this vibe. Think about like old libraries, maybe old money, big buildings, Ivy League schools with maybe darkness, candles, almost some of those witchy vibes. Now, that is what we're going to be aiming for today. So we have our canvas here. Now, I am just going to go head over to the side here where it says Kittl AI. I am going to click on that, and this is where we're going to start describing what we want our journal to actually look like. Now, sometimes this step can take a few different tries, but don't worry if you don't get what you want right away. Just keep tweaking what exactly you're saying, maybe add some more constraints, and eventually you're going to get something that's going to be perfect. And the more you play with it, the better you're going to get at creating prompts that are going to give you great images on the first try. All right, so the first prompt that I gave it is dark and spooky library in an old university. Kittl has tons of different image styles that you can generate it in, but I find for something like this, I'm going to want it to look more maybe like a painting. So we are going to take a look here at all the different styles. So we could do digital art or we could do oil painting. I think I'm going to start with oil painting first and generate this image and see what it comes up with and if that's something we're going to be able to use. All right, so this is the image that it came up with. Already, I'm really liking this. It's definitely giving me those dark academia vibes. Now we're just going to make this a little bit bigger to be able to cover the entire canvas. And already this is something that we could use. Now I'm going to try a few more prompts or a few different styles just because I think I want it to be a little bit more painting-esque instead of, this almost looks like a photograph to me. So I think that if we do it a little bit more stylized, that is going to sell better, but this definitely could work just as it is right here. So I'm just going to try the normal painting style for this and see if we can generate something that looks a little bit more like a painting and less like a photograph image. All right, so this is what it came up with for painting, and I think this could work really well for kind of that dark academia vibe that we were going for. So we're just going to position that how you want, and then I'm going to go ahead and download this to my computer. We don't need to make sure and remove any of the backgrounds or anything. We're just going to go ahead and download that as a PNG, and I'm going to show you what it looks like uploaded to Printify. All right, so we are back on Printify, and all you have to do to use your new artwork is you're just going to drag and drop this here, and it's going to show you what this would look like as an actual product. Now I'm going to go over to the preview so that we can see what it looks like as an actual notebook. That is super cute. I love the old library vibes. We can even see it in context mock-up photo. A lot of times the items that end up selling really well, they are actually on different mock-ups than these auto-generated ones. So if you do want to put it on maybe more of that dark academia vibe, maybe someone is in kind of like a dark room holding a notebook like this, you could actually go over to place it and create any kind of mock-up that you want over there as well. For how little time that took us, this is a great design, and it definitely would do well in that dark academia reading journal niche. Now let's head back over to Kittl, and I'm going to share with you what the next niche that we're going to target is going to be. And if you are still watching at this point, let me know by telling me if you are a reader of physical books or you prefer audiobooks. Which team are you on? All right, so the next niche that I definitely want to target is going to be in something that has sold super well, even for t-shirts and hoodies recently, and that is going to be that cottagecore witchy vibe. So think we have candles, dark elements, kind of moons, spells, mushrooms, frogs, all of that kind of stuff does really well, and this is a niche that is definitely doing well in the reading log and reading journal category. So we are going to try and create a really cool either pattern or painting in that witchy style here on Kittl. So Kittl, you can also, besides just the images and paintings you can create, you can also create clip arts, vectors, and you can create patterns. So all of those are really cool tools to be able to make AI artwork in a lot of different styles. All right, so I typed in witchy with dark florals, moons, crystals, and a dark background, and then I'm going to go over to the patterns to see them all. And I think that I want it to be in something more artistic or Baroque. So we're going to try both of those and see which one is going to look better. So I'm going to try that artistic style first. We'll see what it comes up with here. Now, patterns, sometimes you do have to play around with them until you get one that you're happy with, but they can make really fun, really unique patterns that you couldn't find anywhere else to help you stand out. All right, so this is what it came up with, and that definitely is very creepy here. I do kind of like the aesthetic of what it came up with. I don't know that I'm loving that witchy face, but this could definitely work. So I'm going to go ahead and download this, but we're going to even generate one more and see what that would look like. So instead of putting the word witchy, because that might be confusing it, I'm going to go for that witchy vibe and just tell it the kinds of elements that I want. So I'm going to do dark florals, moons, crystals, mushrooms, and a dark background. And then we are gonna try the artistic style one more time. If we don't like it, I'm gonna try that Baroque style. All right, okay, I am liking this one a ton more. Now, this definitely is kind of that witchy vibe that I was thinking, and I like that it's kind of artistic with those different like lanterns, candles, you have moons, mushrooms in there. So this is perfectly what I was thinking. So I'm gonna go ahead and download this over here as a PNG, and we're gonna go see what this would look like once we upload it to Printify. So we are back on our journal page, and all we're gonna do is just drag and drop this again so that we can see what it's going to look like on our finished product. Now I'm going to go over to preview and we can see what this reading journal could look like. Now I haven't for this, but for any of these, you could actually put the words reading log or reading journal on the front to make it even more specific. You could also just use the keywords reading log, even though it is more of just a standard notebook. Sometimes if you look for trending products and then you can really make your titles hyper specific to that type of item you want people to be looking for, then you're going to make a lot of sales, even though this is more of just a generic notebook. All right, so let's head over back to Kittl, and I'm going to share with you the last reading log niche that I think is going to do really, really well. The last niche that I wanted to put on one of these reading log journals is going to be something in like a classical art style. Now, what I was thinking about first is kind of someone maybe having a stack of books or reading a stack of books, but maybe in more of like an old-fashioned oil painting style. Now, again, this kind of goes with that old world aesthetic, even kind of that dark academia. People are loving more of that classical look, especially those that are reading a lot. So I know that this would do really well. So let's think about what our prompt could be for something like this. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to try is just going to be simple Victorian woman reading a book in that painting style. Now I'm going to generate this image, and we might have to get even more specific with this. Right away, I think this is definitely something that we could use. I love how this turned out here, and I think this already would make a perfect journal, so we don't even have to try more. I'm going to go ahead and download this. But I'm just going to try one more and see if we can get kind of a different style here. So this time, instead of putting the word Victorian, I'm just going to put woman reading a book to kind of maybe modernize it, but still in that painting style, so it's a little bit more trendy. Okay, so I'm going to look up woman reading a book at park in that painting style and see what we come up with. All right, so this again is super cute. Definitely this could sell very, very well in that reading niche. So I'm going to go ahead and download this one and show you what both of these would look like if we uploaded them as a reading journal on Printify. All right, so I am going to upload that first one so that we can see it previewed. I love the way that this one turned out. I just think it looks so beautiful. I would love to have this to kind of keep track of all my reading, especially if you're reading a lot of classical books or you're into that kind of thing. Now let's try it out with that other one too. This one looks fantastic as well. I love this painting style, and something that I love too is the hands turned out really good, because sometimes that's the hardest thing for AI artwork to come up with. But a lot of times if you can have them maybe holding something instead of just having their hands out for AI artwork, a lot of times that works a lot better. Now I promised you guys a bonus tip at the beginning of this video, and this is the way that I would take these journals to the next level to make even more money in my Etsy shop, and that is by incorporating some kind of personalization. Now, all you would have to do is take the AI artwork that you created, and then you're just going to add one simple line of text. You can even use one of their already generated items, do something like this, and then you would just put the person's name here. So you really easily could just incorporate some personalized elements like someone's name here. You could just do the name, you could add other text, you could put reading log, reading journal in here, but this is something that people will pay even more money for. Now, if you haven't ever sold personalized items or you're a little bit nervous to get started, I have a complete walkthrough tutorial of how to actually link your listings with Printify and Etsy to actually receive those customized orders, how to make them, and how to actually create those personalized listings. It's super easy to do, and you can almost double the amount of profit that you make for every item, because you can charge $2 to $3 more for every single sale if you're adding personalization. So this is a great way to take this to the next level. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.